Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Are Democrats ever going to realize that the people that they trust for accurate information are the biggest liars, the biggest con artists? Nah, probably not. But the man that they've been going to, the man that they've been relying on for accurate information on Russiagate, his weekly updates with Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, is of course Adam Schiff. But what Democrats don't seem to realize is that Adam Schiff may be one of the biggest liars in politics. Now I say that all the time referring to so many different Democrats. It's kind of hard to say who's the worst. They're all so bad. They're all so despicably dishonest. But Adam Schiff is definitely in the top 10. I mean, we all remember when he presented a phone call between Donald Trump and the Ukrainian president, and on the record, on the House floor, basically paraphrased the whole thing, but twisted the context to make Donald Trump look like some mafioso.
I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent and understand lots of it. This is, in sum and character, what the president was trying to communicate.
That was you making up dialogue, putting it in the president's mouth. If the facts are as damning as you say, why make up dialogue for dramatic effect, even if it's a parody, as you say?
Straight up manipulation of evidence. Well, if you thought that that was just a small thing, a one-off thing, of course, you'd be wrong. That's more like Adam Schiff's MO, his modus operandi. That's what Adam Schiff does. That's the value that he brings to the Democrat Party, being the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, who's willing to stoop to any level and completely sacrifice his credibility in order to push party propaganda. And here we go again, as Adam Schiff is now confirmed to have shared doctored evidence in an effort to help Nancy Pelosi's disgraced 1-6 commission get out of the metaphorical dumpster that it's been in for the last couple of months. Let me show you guys all this crazy partisan hackery. Let's continue to call out these corrupt Washington goons. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at this. Busted. Adam Schiff appears to fake evidence in text messages at January 6th committee. Representative Adam Schiff, Democrat from California, appears to have doctored evidence that he cited in Monday evening's hearing at the January 6th committee, just as Schiff infamously did during the impeachment investigation into President Donald Trump in 2019. The committee was discussing its motion that former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows be held in contempt of Congress for refusing to hand over information over which Trump has exerted executive privilege. The Federalist reports, however, that Schiff doctored text messages he presented to the committee, altering the text and creating the false impression in a visual presentation that he was quoting original text messages rather than fabrications. Sean Davis reports during a hearing on Monday night on the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, Adam Schiff claimed to have proof that a member of Congress texted former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to instruct former Vice President Mike Pence to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. Not only did Adam Schiff misrepresent the substance of the text message and its source, he even doctored original text messages which were obtained and reviewed by the Federalist in their entirety. One message that Schiff attributed to a Republican lawmaker was doctored to read: on January 6, 2021, Vice President Mike Pence, as President of the Senate, should call out all electoral votes that he believes are unconstitutional as no electoral votes at all. But the original message came from former Department of Defense Inspector General Joseph Schmitz, who had drafted and summarized legal arguments that Representative Jim Jordan forwarded to Meadows, and Schiff left out the full exchange, which read as follows. What's written here in bold is the context that Adam Schiff deliberately left out of his presentation. In accordance with guidance from Founding Father Alexander Hamilton and judicial precedents, no legislative act, wrote Alexander Hamilton in Federalist number 78, contrary to the Constitution can be valid. The court in Hubbard versus Lowe reinforced this truth, that an unconstitutional statute is not a law at all, is a proposition no longer open to discussion. Appeal dismissed. Following this rationale, an unconstitutionally appointed elector, like an unconstitutionally elected statute, is no elector at all. Schiff omitted the portions in bold above, which referred to a legal basis for rejecting electors, as Davis reported. In his statement and on-screen graphic, Schiff erased the final two paragraphs and the final clause of the first paragraph of the text message before inserting punctuation that was never there, all without disclosing what he was doing. The graphic displayed by Schiff, which was doctored to look like an exact screenshot, was similarly doctored as it contained content that was never in the original message and eliminated content that was. And so the question that we constantly ask ourselves is, how do these two things simultaneously make sense? The Democrats claim that they have unequivocal evidence, that it's undeniable that Donald Trump and his administration are guilty of what they are accused of. That's part one, that it's undeniable. But seemingly in order to prove guilt, they constantly need to doctor evidence in order to make the argument. If you have a strong argument, then you shouldn't have to lie. If you have a strong case, then you shouldn't need fake evidence. You wouldn't need to doctor anything. It just goes to show how truly dishonest they are. He presented a very small snippet to make it seem as if this whole thing was a coup. All it was just one person's opinion, sending a text message to Mark Meadows, citing what you believe is legal precedent, making a legal argument. Hardly sounds like an undemocratic insurrection now, doesn't it? This entire thing is blowing up in their face, and now it's confirmed that the January 6th committee admits that it doctored a Republican text message in Adam Schiff's presentation. They're not even denying it. As Sean Hannity reports on his website, another Schiff show, Select Committee, quote, regrets using doctored text message in January 6 probe. I mean, you think? So let me get this straight. Donald Trump is so guilty, the evidence is so undeniable, that on Monday, Liz Cheney presents evidence through text messages that essentially completely exonerate Mark Meadows and completely exonerate the president, absolutely demolishes their entire argument that this was some sort of organized coup, as literally everybody involved was panicking at the moment, saying, make it stop. And Donald Trump himself swiftly reacted. And then the next key piece of evidence that really sets it over the top happens to be completely out of context and doctored, and once again, not evidence. In fact, you'd probably have a mistrial at this point, and that would be the bare minimum. But due process and true justice, equal justice, of course the Democrats don't want that. They want to continue with these bogus witch hunts. I mean, take a look at what former Democrat Senator Barbara Boxer says. If Trump could stop the January 6th riot, it proves that he started it. I mean, talk about a leap. Talk about a total lack of logic. If he could stop it, then it proves that he started it. So you're telling me that firefighters who show up to the scene and stop raging fires, you're telling me that they're guilty? It proves that they started it because they have the power to stop it. Therefore, firefighters are arsonists. I mean, that's essentially the line of thinking. That's the line of logic. In other words, it's dumb and not an argument at all, and just proves how disingenuous these people really are. Joe Biden chimes in and says, Mark Meadows, worthy of being held in contempt of Congress. Oh, well, that pretty much settles it. The guy who pooped his pants in front of the Pope, a real legal expert, the guy who conned his way through law school, the guy who, as you can see right over here, earned a Juris Doctor from Syracuse University College of Law, and ranked number 76 in his class of 85 after failing a course due to an acknowledged mistake when he plagiarized a law review article for a paper that he wrote in his first year at law school. The plagiarist, brain-melting poopy pants man said it, so then it must be true. Absolutely crazy, folks. This entire thing is nothing but another witch hunt. They have absolutely no argument whatsoever to prove what they want to prove, but they want to prove it so bad that they are willing to stoop to such levels to fake evidence. If that doesn't tell you that this is a kangaroo court, that it's never been bipartisan as Nancy Pelosi states, it's been nothing but a witch hunt with the aim of proving guilt and completely disregarding any chance at innocence. If this doesn't prove it, then I don't know what will, and you are not paying attention. The evidence is clear, the verdict is not guilty, and the evidence that I'm referring to is actually just what Liz Cheney showed us on Monday. The fact that taxpayer dollars are being spent on this absolutely bogus committee is a complete disgrace. But of course, that's what I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe. I gotta get back to work though. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.